Yo guys, Trader Mayne here, making this DM video I'd kind of been talking about and alluding to. I know I've been posting a lot of motivational fucking bullshit the last few days. Obviously people are hurting. For those new kind of participants in the market, this might be your first crash. And by the way, no one's allowed to judge me for this massive fucking zit that I got going on in my head. I wear a hat to the gym and I always get fucking zits on my forehead. It's the worst. Maybe this is your first kind of big old dump we've had in crypto. I'm doing my F and chill stream tomorrow. So I suggest you tune into that. And in that video, I will cover kind of, in hindsight, obviously, my thoughts on why the dump have happened, some things we, could have done to predict it perhaps, and, lessons for next time, and obviously areas that I'm looking to buy the dip. But I have this chart up simply because, I just want to show you guys kind of, where we've come from in the last year and how crazy this run has been. I mean, we're up 20x from the lows about a year ago. This is our first red monthly candle because it's probably going to close red unless, Elon Musk comes out and says he's bought billions of dollars of Bitcoin on SNL next week. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight green months, all massive to the upside. This type of price movement's not sustainable. I've talked about this before, but who knows how high this was going to go, right? So is this the over? Is this the end? I don't know. Is it over? We're going back to 20K. I have no idea. At the end of the day, you just need to kind of have some patience in times like these. And play things level to level. And unfortunately, if you want the market to go higher, we need to wait until the market does something bullish, because right now it hasn't really done anything bullish. It's looking quite bearish. It's rejecting from resistance levels. It's breaking market structure to the downside on a high time frame basis. So all that TA shit we will talk about in tomorrow's stream, where I cover the charts and the analysis. This video is a little bit more about kind of just mindset. I opened up my DMs to people, so I'll go through some of those because a lot of the questions were the same, and just kind of talk about my thoughts. Everything I'm saying is 100%, anecdotal. This is my experience. I've been through 3 crypto market cycles. 2013, I got my ass absolutely handed to me. I had no idea what I was doing. 2017, I had a kind of an idea of how to trade, but I still got caught up in a lot of euphoria and hype and made it out with money, but probably a lot less than I should have. And I'm happy to say that I've done very well in this bull run. Did I have more money a week ago? Of course, but still have done very well. And I'm gonna just share kind of my experience, how I deal with these types of things. And some of these things might be hard to hear, especially if you're new. But I'm gonna try and package it in a way that isn't condescending or patronizing. I'm gonna have a drink while we do this because I find that that's not a way to help anyone. I mean, I understand, you're not gonna fucking. I don't want to just sugarcoat things, right? But at the end of the day, when you're already down, someone coming and shitting on you, to me, that's not a fruitful way to get someone to understand the message you're trying to relay by just kind of adding more negative to an already negative situation. So I'll try and keep it as light and up as possible, positive as possible. But some of these things are not going to be fun to talk about. So obviously in a run like this, and then when we have a situation like we've had where we've had a major dump, and the reason this dump is different than the other dumps, in my opinion, is all of these other corrections occurred, during major uptrend, kind of parabolic price action, right? So huge move up, vertical correction, completely V reverses back into vertical correction, vertical, but again, losing momentum, right? Clear as day. You can use the RSI to visualize this, or you can just use your eyes, right? We're losing momentum here with each move after the correction becoming smaller and smaller. And then this most recent correction occurring after we very weakly made a new all-time high, right? So just barely recovered, made a weak new all-time high. And then this is the first dump that is now breaking significant levels of market structure, whereas none of these dumps broke their relative daily swing lows, right? So the daily swing lows here right here, never broken. Here, SFP, never broken. Here, never broken. And then this one, the low that generated the new high, has been broken. So until we get back above here, really, anything like this is a bearish retest to sell, unfortunately. And so that's what's different about this dump, because it means it's probably not over, and it could go a lot deeper. And based on the general sentiment I'm seeing on Twitter and attitude of people on Twitter, most people are just buying the dip and are probably going to get burned, because instead of giving, I'm hoping we get something like this so I can short it. I'm not hoping we get something like this so we can recover. I'm pretty sure we go lower. I think we're too close to some of these lows to not, at least interact with this area down here, maybe down to 45 or even lower, back into this high, who knows. But from the looks of it, everyone's just buying every dip, and this could be one of those dumps where we dump, do this, and then just dump again, and do this, and then dump again, because this is trapping a bunch of people longing, thinking we're going to get some relief, and then they just drop it again. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this in the coming days. So just be careful, obviously, right? I understand where most people are feeling right now is they need to make it back. You need to revenge trade. You need to make back what you lost. Tough truth for you. You're probably not going to make it back, at least not very quickly or all in one trade. If you've blown up a significant amount of your stack on this dump, it's going to be an absolute grind to get back to where you were, and that sucks. But that is what it is, right? There's that table that I've pulled up before, right? How big of a win do you have to get, or how much growth in your account do you have to get back to break even after you've kind of dropped down? And it's exponential as you blow more and more of your account. So don't risk whatever you have left of your capital hoping that you're going to make it all back in one trade. Could you get lucky? Maybe, but it's not smart. I highly suggest that you try and be rational right now. It's very easy to want to react emotionally in times like this, because you have not just FOMO of maybe we're going to bounce, but you also have this anger that prices dropped and you need to get it back, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these DMs I'm getting are people telling me they've lost all of their money, and they don't know what to do. And to put some perspective on it, Bitcoin is down 30% from all-time high. Some people are telling me they're down 100% of their account or 90% of their account. So what does that tell you? How is that even possible? Like, if you were just in Bitcoin, you should only be down 30%. Well, that tells you that people are either way too exposed to a variety of altcoins that have obviously suffered more than Bitcoin. Some altcoins are down 50% off the highs, or they're using leverage, right? Because that's the only way that you can be down more than what Bitcoin is down itself. If you were just in Bitcoin, right? Let's say Bitcoin was up 2,000% in the last year and you were all in Bitcoin, right? Now it's up 1,970%, right? It's not that big of a deal when you think of it that way. But of course, most people are probably exposed to some alts and they're probably using a lot of leverage. So my thoughts on leverage are most people don't use it properly. You use it to keep less money on an exchange, to better and more efficiently allocate and utilize your capital. You don't use it to trade more money than you have, or risk more than you should be. That's not what leverage should be used for, but unfortunately that is what leverage is generally used for. And you see that in the fact that every time we have a move, derivatives premium fucking flies. And we have massive liquidation events because people are just aping in on leverage and getting liquidated and blowing their account. So, it sucks, but if you completely lost all of your money that you've made in the last year on a 30% drop, you fucked up. And it sucks, I know. But you need to take this as a lesson and try and find the positives in this and work your way back. There's always another trade. There's always an opportunity 365 days a year in this market. That's the benefit. That's the bonus. So, maybe you're starting back from square one and that sucks, but you're going to be coming back stronger, having learned lessons. I often talk about, the money that you lose, especially early on, being tuition that you pay to the market, right? It's like going to school. You got to pay your dues. And so it sucks, but you got to take it as a lesson. And unfortunately, it's a tough one because if you've lost it all, you're out of the game. That's what you never want to get to, that space where you're out of the game completely. And the main way that that happens in crypto is with leverage. I mean, yeah, you could hold an altcoin all the way through a market cycle into the bear market, sure, or Bitcoin or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're in spot, you know, there's always the chance it will bounce back and you can't get liquidated. But when you're trading with leverage, that's when you get liquidated. That's when you kind of get ahead of yourself. All of a sudden, you're risking more than your entire account size on one trade. One, you know, you're winning. One trade goes wrong, it erases all of those wins. So unfortunately, you know, if you lost it all, it's going to be a long road back. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but it's a very difficult lesson. And unfortunately, it's not the market's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's your fault. You know, and that sucks to hear. But you've got to learn how to use risk management if you're going to be trading with leverage. You need to understand, you know, how do I place a stop? What is the purpose of the stop? How much of my account am I risking, if this trade goes wrong? Understand what leverage is and understand margin. Like, these are things that if you don't know, like the amount of DMs I got from people who like don't even, I'll ask them, I'm like, did you use a stop? You know, and the answer is no, right? And they're holding some margin position. They go, oh, well, Mayne, I'm in this position and, you know, I was going to close it when we crossed 50K, but now we're at 49K. What should I do? And it's like, well, why didn't you have a stop on it? They go, oh, I didn't know how to put it on. Right? Like, if you don't understand these basics, like, you should not be trading, right? You need to go back to the drawing board and learn this shit, because what you're doing is gambling. You're not trading. And unfortunately, based on my DMs, based on what I'm seeing, most people are gambling. They're not trading. So if you want to learn to trade, there's tons of great resources in this space to do so. But in the meantime, get your fucking ass off of these derivatives exchanges. You know, if you want to be involved and you want to have exposure, only play with spot, right? Because then you're just exposed to the market. And if Bitcoin drops, your account balance drops, but you don't lose any actual Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes up, your account balance goes up. And worst case scenario, you're down 30% from a week ago as opposed to 90% because you were long Bitcoin with leverage as well as several other altcoins. So the most common DM I got was, I lost it all. What the fuck should I do? And the other most common one was, you know, I was in this trade and it's below where I was going to be stopped out. What should I do? And I answered that one, I think, on Twitter. If you entered a long here and your idea was invalidated here, and we're trading here now, close the fucking trade. And I understand the logic. Oh, well, it might bounce back, right? It might, but it also might drop further, right? And you don't want a loser to become a bigger loser than it has to. If the trade is past your point of invalidation, exit. If it's going to bounce back, you can always enter again, right? But the goal here and always is capital preservation. Like, if you took no profits on the way up, I mean, first of all, I don't know what you're doing. We're up 20x from the lows. Could we go to 26? Like, when we're trading here, could we go to 100K? Yes, but that's only a 2x from here. We're up, 15, 20x from the lows. You're telling me you haven't taken anything off the table? So, you've got to, at some point, have a plan to pay yourself. None of this shit is real until it's like money in your fucking bank account that you can use to actually buy shit, right? So you have to have a plan to take profits, and you also have to have a risk management strategy to mitigate downside when the market does go against you. Because if you do believe that the bull run is not over and we are still going to 100K, well, you're going to want to still have some Bitcoin left for when that happens and not give it all back when it's trading down. And so that means that even on your spot positions, maybe you bought spot at 50K. Well, maybe if you think we're going to 40K, you need to sell some of that spot to cover your ass, right? Or something. You need to have a plan, not just for your margin and leverage trades, but for altcoin spot trading, for Bitcoin spot trading. You still need to have targets and areas of invalidation, or else you're going to run the risk of fucking giving back all the money that you've worked so hard to make. So I know it sucks to hear, especially after it's already happened. It's like, oh, where was this advice like a week ago? But this is a lesson, and the market is going to remain volatile. And if you learn to trade, you can make money going both ways. So you can make it back. It's not all over, but don't try and make it all back in one trade. Don't crank up that leverage to 100%, hoping that you'll catch a trade and get back all that money you lost. be smart right now. The last thing you want to do is have no bullets left in the chamber to fight with, right? Like if you're down to your last bullet, it's better than no bullets, right? If you're taking a wound, you want it to be a flesh wound so you can keep going, as opposed to a kill shot and you're done, right? You got no money, you're done. So I'm going to go through some of these DMs and I'm just going to comment on them. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try and not make it not too long. Yeah, we'll chat again tomorrow about more technicals for the market in terms of, some clues why this happened in hindsight, obviously. Where I'm looking to buy the dip, what I'm looking for to get involved in potential longs or in potential shorts, because right now the market structure to me is bearish. And we'll talk about all that tomorrow. But for now, I'm just going to go through some of these DMs. I'm sorry if I don't get to your DM. I am going to keep the names private just out of respect to some people. But yeah, I'll just kind of comment on these and we'll just fucking give her shit. And hopefully this video provides some modicum of value to you. I don't know if I like that. This is the new Hey Y'all Florida Citrus Hard Iced Tea sponsorship. Give me money, please. I need it. I don't know if I like it, but I'm out of beer. Fucking UFC card tonight was wild. Okay. This guy says, lost it all, Mayne. 75K gone in 2 weeks. It hurts big. Yeah, man, that sucks. What can I say, bro? If you lost it all, it's a difficult feeling because it feels insurmountable, right? Because the idea of, it's one thing to blow your account, down significantly. It's another thing to have no money left. And now you got to put new money in to build it back. I mean, I understand you might have an aversion to putting more money in. You're scared. You don't want to. It's completely reasonable. But if you made up to 75 grand, what did you do to get there? Was it just luck? Were you just in at the right time? There's a good chance most people made money in this bull run because they just were in, right? Like most people are not traders. Unfortunately, they just had exposure and everything's been going up. It's been kind of hard to lose money in the last year because there weren't very many instances where price went down. And even when it did go down, it completely reversed within like a few days to weeks. So, it's another thing to consider and to look at, right? If your portfolio is down more than 30%, and your total portfolio from this time last year is up less than, let's say even a 10x because, you didn't catch the bottom, but let's say you bought at 6K, you're underperforming Bitcoin itself. And maybe you need to realize you're not a trader, and your trading is actually underperforming what holding Bitcoin itself would have done. And for those people, and if you're keen on learning to trade, what I'd suggest you do is break up your portfolio. Have your HODL stack, right, where you own Bitcoin, own Ethereum, and just are in a bullish environment, and then have a small portion of your account that you dedicate to trading. That way you're not trading with your entire stack and risking losing it fucking all, right? But I'm sorry, bro. I mean, listen, you got to have money in the game, skin in the game, obviously, to make it back. But don't just fucking shove a bunch of money in and then do the shit that you did that caused you to fucking lose the 75K, right? Don't over leverage. Don't just put it in shit coins. If you consider yourself a trader, go in there, maybe ratchet down your risk and compound small wins, right? That's how you're going to build back, right? You compound small wins. But 75K is a lot of money, dude. That sucks. I'm sorry that happened for you, man. But, the market is going to provide opportunities to make it back. But learn lessons. What did you do to lose it all? Obviously, it sounds like you probably got liquidated. To lose it all in the last 2 weeks, you were trading with margin. So maybe don't. Maybe just trade spot, or maybe just reduce your position size greatly and make sure you're using risk management. So even if you're wrong, you're only risking 1 to 5% of your account. You should never get liquidated. Never. Should never happen. I've been liquidated so many times. So sounds hypocritical, but not anymore, right? Because first of all, getting liquidated costs you more than if you would have just used a stop because there's fees and shit. But I never risk more than 1 to 5% of my account, my trading account, on a margin trade max. So sorry, dude, but keep your head up. The market is going to provide opportunities, and you can make it back, dude. It's not insurmountable. This guy says, "Well done, mate. I predicted every single dip in my Telegram channel. You're one of the betters on CT. Thank you for the compliment. I guess invite me to that Telegram channel, bro. What the fuck?" This guy says, "Just a big fan. Thanks for so many motivational treats during Sea of Red." Listen, like, Twitter is so funny, and I'm an influencer on Twitter, right? I've got 100 and whatever thousand followers. So it's interesting to see how other people post and tweet, right? Like, I mean, what is most people's point for Twitter is for clout, right? I mean, you want the warm fuzzies when you make a right call, and you want likes and retweets, and you want people to tell you that your joke was funny, or that, hey, yeah, you nailed that call, man. At the end of the day, all that matters is your P&L and what's going on in there. What people post on Twitter being like, "I told you so, look what I did," and I include myself in these group of CT people who post a bunch of dumb shit. I'm one of them. None of that really means anything to them or to you, right? All that matters is your P&L at the end of the day. And sometimes I'm memeing on Twitter and keeping it light. Other times I'm retweeting calls I've made. Other times I'm doing whatever. Like, everyone's got a motive for what they're trying to do on Twitter. When you have a bigger account, so you can get money for certain things that you do, whether it's partnerships with, like, I'm working with Bybit, for example, which is awesome. Other people are selling services or have a paid group or a newsletter, right? So, I mean, everyone's got a motive to, the image that they're trying to put out on Twitter for the most part. But you have to take all of that for a grain of salt, especially when we have a move like we did yesterday. You're going to see people who are selling products being like, "Oh, we called it in my group," right? You're going to see people, who are retweeting "I told you so's" and shit. And you got to just take that all and in my opinion, throw it out of your mind and ignore it, because it's not going to give you any value. At the end of the day, what matters is your P&L. Obviously, find accounts that you resonate with and that you enjoy the information they put out there. But a lot of what you see on Twitter is shit posting, from all accounts, which is totally fine. I mean, it's the fucking internet, right? But when we have these kind of moves, I don't find that it's super productive, because I've been the person who, years ago, the market crashed, and all I'm seeing on Twitter is everyone was 100% net short at the top, and I'm sitting here holding these fucking bags, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it didn't really help me at all. So all I'm trying to do is just kind of put a little bit of positivity in there, and let people know that, listen, man, everyone's fucking up, everyone's making mistakes. Most people lost money, most people weren't ready. So if you weren't, that's okay. Learn from it. What can we do going forward to be better? So thank you for that message, my man. This guy said, "I almost lost my whole money in crypto, just a 23-year-old hoping for a better future. I wish the market gets well soon." Yeah, bro. I mean, again, if you lost almost your entire portfolio, the market is down about 30%. So what does that tell you? You're either overexposed to altcoins, which have gone crazy lately. So if you haven't taken any profit on those, or you're trading with margin, right? So if you've lost more than 30% of your account, you were probably in a bunch of alts, or you're trading with margin. So what lessons can we learn? Less margin, make sure you're taking profits on alts, or at the very least have contingency plans for when the market corrects to, stop out some of these altcoin positions, and just don't hold these bags all the way down 50%. But if you're in spot, you're never going to lose, not even if you were fully exposed to alts for this entire crash. If it was in spot, you're not down 90%, you know what I mean? So it does sound like you got some money left, so you still got a bullet in the chamber to keep fighting. But take this as a lesson. Don't fuck around with margin. Don't get in over your head until you know what you're doing. But you can make it back, bro. The market will remain volatile. There's going to be lots of opportunities. This guy says, "Hey, Mayne, I want to get some advice from you. Basically, I do spot trading ever since getting liquidated in Feb and losing 100% of my crypto. Now spot trading my way back. Yesterday I took some profits and wanted to leave money in USDs for opportunities like today, but wasn't able to. Rather bought Link and some other alts. Now I'm like break even of yesterday, so should I sell and buy back cheaper or hold?" So first part of the message, awesome job, right? Learned your lesson, got burned, margin trading, focusing on spot, right? Great. Took some profits, also good. Wanted to have some tether to buy the dip, also fucking good. Bought Link and some other altcoins and they kept dipping, right? So even when you're trading spot, you need to have risk management in mind. If you're gonna buy the dip on Bitcoin here, right? Well, you probably have a stop loss here, right? So even though you bought spot here, thinking, hey, maybe this is the bottom and we're going to do this, if we trade below here, there's a good chance we're going to continue trading lower. So you need to sell that and reassess. So just because it's spot, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have a stop loss in mind, a target in mind. And it's okay to take a loss on spot. You don't always make money on your spot trades. If you bought at 57 expecting 60 and your stop is at 55, right? Okay, you've now lost $2,000 per Bitcoin spot you had, but then if it trades down to 50, you're not holding that for that additional $5,000 loss, right? So still have a stop loss in mind, even when you're trading spot. So if you bought some of these alts and they've kept dipping, right? Where's that idea wrong? Why did you buy it? And where was your idea wrong relative to that buy? Right? And then don't let a loser become a big loser. Just because you're underwater, don't beg hold it to fucking zero, right? If you buy a coin at $100 and it goes to 70 and you close it, you've lost $30. Don't be like, oh, I'm underwater $30. Let me hope that this goes up again and end up holding it all the way down until it's only worth 20, right? So it sounds like you're not in too bad shape. You said you broke even as of like yesterday. This is from Thursday. So do I buy back cheaper? Listen, if your idea is wrong and we're below where your invalidation is, get out. You can always buy back, right? If the market flips bullish, you can always buy back. That's the beauty of it. This guy says, you're a good man, Mayne. Thank you for all your posts, education, and Discord. If it wasn't for you, I'd be down a hell of a lot more. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. Shorted twice and still got reamed. Single worst trading day. Just want to say we appreciate you for your level-headed post. Okay. Thank you for the message, man. I'm sorry that you took a little bit of an L there. Hopefully it's not too much damage. Use stops, right? Obviously to mitigate those losses. I understand. Being on Twitter, you see people posting huge P&Ls and shit, and you're like, oh, if I just go 50x and then it goes to 20,000, goes to 60K, I'll make X number of dollars. Don't think like that. Every trade that you go into, think of the worst case scenario. If I'm wrong on this idea, whether it be stop out or because where is my idea wrong, first of all, and then if price goes there, what am I going to lose? And what that number should be, in my opinion, should not be more than, a certain percentage of your account, but go into it in that mindset. What's the worst case scenario? If I'm wrong, once you know that, you're going to have a whole lot less stress in that trade because you already know the worst case scenario up front. And that worst case scenario should never be 50, 60, 70% of your account. But thank you for the kind words, my man. All right, this guy says, I had $900 USD 5 days, and now I'm sitting at $200 USD. If need to know any tops, it will be when I buy any coins, and bottoms will be when I sell. I can make you billions. That's funny, man. Listen, sounds like you're down quite a bit. Again, sounds like you're probably either too deep in margin because you've lost, $700 of your $900, which is the majority of your account. Or you're in altcoins that have, had more downside volatility than Bitcoin itself. So you've still got some money left, right? You can still play the game, but learn what did you do wrong? How did you lose so much? Was it just because Bitcoin dropped 30%? Because then you would have a lot more than $200 left if you were just in Bitcoin. So what were you doing wrong? What can you do better to improve, not make the same mistake again? Don't be too discouraged, right? You can get back to 900. That's totally possible. You can do a 5x on $200 and have $1,000. That's totally doable in this market, but you got to be logical about it. Try and remove emotion. Sounds like you mentioned when you buy at tops, when you sell at bottoms. Well, ask yourself before you enter a trade, say, would my trade, if you're entering a long, say, would my trade actually be a good short entry? And if it would, right, then maybe you need to start recalibrating your analysis, right? Same with for a short. Is my short entry a good long, right? A good long area to long. If you're perfectly wrong, that gives you something to work with. Because then if you're like, hey, every time I buy it goes down, every time I sell it goes up, okay, well you're literally a coin flip away, right? It's a 50-50 shot. It's either up or down of what price is going to do. If you're perfectly wrong every time, that's actually something you can work with. When I first started kind of getting towards profitability, I was perfectly wrong almost every time, it seemed. So you can start isolating instances being like, well, I want to long here. But then in your head, okay, well, every time I've longed, it's gone down. Start looking for reasons to short there. And if you're like, oh, holy shit, I'm coming into resistance, no wonder it's a good short. I shouldn't long there. Now you're making some progress, right? But it's not over for you, man. I believe in you. Hey, boss, man, let me ask you one thing real quick. You think there will be a green candle even for an hour or so after this drop, like a reaction candle? I mean, after we dumped, we did pump to like 57K, right? So we had this little relief area here. And it doesn't seem like a lot because everyone wants this, right? Me included. But this bounce from here to here, right, was like a solid 10% bounce. So the answer is yes, we had one. And generally you do. Okay, we've got another guy. Hey, Mayne, I lost around 2K today. I'm trying to learn. I get wrecked today. My risk management was so bad. No stop loss. I didn't cut the trade. I'm from Venezuela. I'm trying to do best for my English. Well, your English is great. Hola, me llamo Mayne. My Spanish is obviously awesome as well, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, dude, I mean, you're kind of... I don't even need to tell you what's going on here, bro. You've identified your mistakes yourself. You didn't use a stop, right? And you didn't cut the loser, right? And that's what I was saying at the start, right? Don't let that... If you bought here thinking it was going to bounce and we're now below where your idea is wrong, don't let that loser become bigger, right? Here are the most, I want to say 3, but it might be 4. Here are the most fucked up things that happen psychologically to traders, in my opinion, in my experience. Is obviously FOMO is one of them, missing an entry by a couple of pips and then it fucking runs away. To me, these are the ones that fuck you up the most, okay? So here's your entry. Okay, here's your, we have a tool that will do this so much prettier than my drawing. Okay, so you enter a long, right? Your idea is wrong here, okay? And then this happens. And then you close it, you exit, even though you're wrong here. You exit here, and then it does this. This is going to drive you nuts. You're going to FOMO back in. You're going to do all sorts of fucking shit. This will drive you nuts. Another thing that will drive you nuts is this. It's beyond your take profit. And you're like, maybe it's going to go a little higher. It's going to go a little higher. And then it does this. And now what do? Now you're fucked, right? Because it went to your take profit. You didn't close because you thought it was going to go higher. And now it's back towards your entry. And what are you going to do? You're going to end up holding this thing going, well, it's got to come back now because now I was at my profit level before. I can't close down here, right? And then it ends up doing this, right? Those are 2 of the things that will fuck. And then obviously the last one, I believe I said 3, is this. Your stop is here. You don't use it. You don't have a hard stop or something. And you go, oh, maybe it'll bounce back. And then all of a sudden, when you could have been out for 1 R there, now you're out for 2 or 3 R down here. These things will fuck you up psychologically hard because you're going to feel FOMO. You're going to want a revenge trade. You're going to fuck up your account, right? You're going to go on tilt and you're going to damage your fucking account majorly, right? Your equity curve, right, is not a straight line, right? Right? But when all it takes is one tilt to fucking ruin all this hard fucking work that you did. One period of going tilt. So use fucking stops. Don't let any of those 3 scenarios happen to you. They will fuck you up. They're annoying as hell. Trust me, bro. Sources, trust me, bro. So I'm sorry you lost that 2K, brother. Shout out to Venezuela. Yeah, dude, you know what you're doing wrong, right? You didn't use a stop and you didn't cut a trade when you were wrong. Don't fucking do that. All right, this guy says, hey, Mayne, I'm not begging for money, just advice. This is not financial advice. I got 2 BTC who is a lot of my PF. One hit stop loss below 50K and one left. I'm not really sure what to do to preserve capital. If I sell 50K and see what's up from there to Bay, I completely fucked up my net worth. So I didn't fully understand the question, but I'm assuming you own 2 Bitcoin, right? And you had a stop loss. Like, were you long on leverage or, with margin? Or do you just own 2 Bitcoin? Because if you own 2 Bitcoin, right, they're at 50, you have 100 grand right now. A week ago, you had 120 grand, but you're only down 20 grand, really. But if you're saying you're on leverage and one got stopped, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I don't fully understand the question, but if you have these 2 spot Bitcoins, let's assume you're talking spot for a second, and you said you had a stop at 50, right? So you sold one of them to cash and you're holding one more, right? Well, I don't necessarily think you need to sell at 50. I mean, you need to have an idea of where is your idea wrong from those 2 Bitcoin you own, right? If you own 1 Bitcoin and we're at 50K, well, are you going to hold that thing all the way down to 30, or do you want to sell it and potentially rebuy lower, right? That's kind of the decision you need to make. And it's hard to say, right? How do you preserve your capital? You could hedge, right? You could, if you have 2 Bitcoin, you could sell one, have 1 Bitcoin, and then one, sum of Tether. There's lots of things that you could do, but I have a feeling you might be talking about using leverage. I mean, if that's the case, right? Use a stop, and where your idea is wrong, chill. But like, if you're in spot Bitcoin right now and you're wondering what the fuck to do, being like, well, what if we do dip? Like, what if we dip to 40K, right? Let's just assume for a second we dip way the fuck down there, and you're fully in spot here. If you don't want to hedge or don't know how to hedge, you have a couple of options. You can just hold it and realize that, listen, you're still going to have that 1 Bitcoin here. It's just worth less in USD, and then you hope we go up afterwards. Or you sell it here and you potentially get a buy back more than 1 Bitcoin down here, but there's also a chance that we go up. So what do? You got to have levels, right? And to me, a pretty clear level on the upside is here, right? Like, if we reclaim this bullishly, I think there's a good chance we make a new all-time high. I don't know if that, and we could do this. We could make a new all-time high and then dump. Anything is possible, right, at this point. But I think this would be a pretty good level to kind of flip long at, right? So if you were to sell a Bitcoin down here, well, okay, if it goes up here, you've lost a few $1,000s per Bitcoin, get back in, there's a chance that you'll make that back up, right? You can always enter back in. Right? So you can't be so rigid. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have, is they're so rigid. They're like, okay, well, I bought this Bitcoin for 50K and we're now at 40K, therefore I can't sell. It's the same argument as letting the loser become a bigger loser, right? So if you're trying to decide what to do with your spot, you can hedge, have some in Tether, but have areas of invalidation as you would with any trade. If we're below this level, I'm bearish, therefore you stay in Tether. If we're above this level, I'm bullish, therefore you get back in Bitcoin. If you want the super fucking easy play, wait for us to make a new all-time high. If we get above new all-time high, yes, you missed some of this move up, but pretty confident if we get back above like 62K, we go to way higher. I'm pretty sure. Obviously anything's possible, but have an idea, have a plan for where you're wrong. If you're in Bitcoin, okay, how much lower until I think it goes way lower? Because I'm going to hold, and then if we crack that level, I'm out. How much higher until I think we go way higher? Because if it gets above there, I want to be fully back in spot, right? Have a fucking plan. And don't be so rigid, right? Like, you can buy and sell, and maybe you lose out on a couple grand per Bitcoin in either direction. That fucking happens, right? That's the risk of being either fully in spot or not. There's a chance price goes up and you're in Tether. There's a chance price goes down and you're in spot. I feel like this video is going to be super scattered, but hopefully it's good for some of y'all. Hey, just watched your video. Want to ask if you think this cycle is a double peak, and if yes, do you think 100K by the end of the year is realistic? I don't really like these kind of questions, bro. I don't try and make predictions. I'm not the guy who's going to be like, Bitcoin's going to 150K by Q1 of 2022, and then I'm going to pin it to my profile and then retweet it if it happens and act as if I had any clue as to why that was going to happen. That's not my game. I'm a trader. I just focus on trading level to level. I actually prefer trading Bitcoin when it's going down or on the way up. Once it's in price discovery, I have a harder time because I don't know where it's going to stop, right? Whereas if we're going down or we're trading, back on our way up to 20K, I have previous levels of SR that I can use to frame my trades around. But I'm not in the predicting game. Again, 100K Bitcoin sounds awesome. That's only at 2X from here. We're up way more than that in the last year. So I think the fact that so many people are like, Bitcoin has to go to 100K, it just tells me it's like, okay, you either came super late to the party or you've completely blown it over the last year. Because if you needed to go to 100K for you to make money, it's like, what the fuck have you been doing the last year? Everything's gone up by literally thousands of a percent. It's so funny. Like, if this cycle is over, I hope it's not, obviously. But if it is, like, is anyone going to be really, like, surprised? Like, I still see tweets being like, this is going to be the greatest alt season of all time. Meanwhile, DeFi has done, like, 10,000%. BSC, coins are doing, thousands and thousands of percents a day and completely fucking exit scamming and blowing up. We had an NFT sell for $69 million. We have CryptoPunk selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Bitcoin itself did a 20x from the previous low and a 3x from the previous all-time high. Like, shit went crazy, right? We've seen insane stuff happen in the last 6 months, let alone year. So, I don't think the run is over. I think this just could be a long, drawn-out correction before another run. Maybe it is like 2013. Where we have kind of a double bubble or whatever, where it goes on a big run and then it dips and then it goes on another run. Who knows? But I think to need Bitcoin to go to 100K for you to make money, realize that's only a 2X from here, right? So that's not that big of a gain. So I don't know. I have no idea if Bitcoin's going to go to 100K, bro. Nor do I care. It doesn't really matter to me. As long as it moves, I can make money. Would I like it to go to 100K? Obviously. But I don't think making those types of predictions are of any value, because if I say yes, I think it's going to 100K. What happens if you buy now based on that and then it goes to 30K before 100K? Like, are you not going to be pissed? So there. This guy says, do you think the bull run is over? I'm inclined to say no, but this is the most cautious I've been in the entirety of the run. I was not worried here. I was not worried here. This is definitely the most worrisome dump out of all of them for the things I mentioned at the start of the video. And we've got some serious work to do. I don't really expect this to just V reverse based on the trend leading in, right? Super strong trend, pullback, V reverse, super strong trend, pullback, V reverse. This trend is not super strong. So the fact that we've lost these lows here, to me, if we are going to reverse, it's going to either be, a very slow, choppy, kind of reversal, or we're going to have a bigger ass correction, right? We're going to go way lower, right? And then make our way out. So I don't necessarily think it's over, but I'm not confident. I don't think the bull run's over, but I'm not sure this correction is over. I would love for it to just bottom here. That would be ideal. Elon, save us, please. Hey, mate, I'm a poker player and I'm new to trading for about 1.5 months now. Rough. Time to join. I learn a lot each day and took some of your advice, not financial advice. I just do one of my biggest trades on F just this night. I don't know what my DCA is good. Can you please tell me what you think about it, please? Can you tell if my entries are good if I put 10% at 2180, 15% at 2160, 25%? So, first of all, dude, I get so many questions, guys, like DMs, where it's like, you're asking a lot, right? Like, some people will write like they'll send me like 15 charts and be like, what do you think, bro? I'm usually not going to respond to those. Sometimes I'm in the mood, but I'm usually not going to respond. Just think, right? Like, I'm doing this shit because I appreciate y'all, and I want to help people genuinely, but also try and be realistic, right? Like, I have no problem answering a DM or if you have a question or something, but if you're going to send me like, here's the levels I try and plan on buying ETH and at this percentages, is that a good idea? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know what your plan is, or I don't know what you, how much money you're investing, or what your risk tolerance is, or where these ideas are wrong, or anything like that. What I'd suggest, because it looks like you're asking me where are good prices to buy ETH, I would open up the high time frame Ethereum chart and I would mark out areas of SR and I would look for a reaction, right? If you're okay holding into drawdown, then absolutely dollar cost average in, right? Like if you're confident that the bull run is not over, dollar cost average in, at these levels, sure. And realize that your buys here, if you get buys filled here, these buys are going to be underwater, right? But if it all goes up at the end of the day, who fucking cares? I'm more of a trader. I'm more interested in waiting for one of these levels to hit, seeing something bullish, and then getting involved. But if you want a dollar cost average, I would say zoom out, use the high time frame, find your key SR levels, and do it that way. But have an idea where they're wrong. Let's say you dollar cost average, into these levels. Well, what if it trades down here? Are you still holding these buys from way up there? Or are you wrong here? Or are you wrong here? Like you still got to have an area where it's wrong. So as for your levels, 2180, 2160, 2140, and 2120, I don't know if you've just picked those arbitrarily, but we're into them already. So, you're starting to get some fills, my boy. But if I'm looking at this F chart, the level that jumps out to me is there. It's none of the levels above 2000. I'm pretty sure we trade below 2000 again. This guy said, wanted to thank you for the quick market update and content you posted. You're super level-headed. It's refreshing in the noisy feed. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, bro. I'm level-headed on stream, and then I just go and scream in my pillow afterwards. This guy says, FUD is a good buying opportunity more often than not, but what are the large indicators that can show the market is overheating or a blow-off? Try not to get wrecked. Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, I don't think sentiment trading is a good thing to do because sentiment is kind of a meme, right? Because the whole everyone wants this, so it's not going to happen. Everyone is bullish, therefore we're going down. That's such a meme because your everyone is just relative to the people you follow, right? That doesn't actually encompass every fucking one or all the market participants. I think for the most part, I imagine it's actually pretty evenly weighted to bullish and bearish, like on the whole. And what everyone wants means absolutely fucking nothing at the end of the day. So, things that you can look at for market getting overheated. Yeah, you can look at sentiment. Yeah, you can look at, I would look at, where have we come? How much are we up? High time frame. You can look at things like momentum, right? So clearly momentum is slowing. These are big moves. This is a much, we're rounding off here. Momentum is slowing. Look at high time frame market structure. See if even on those dumps, we're maintaining market structure versus here where we're losing it. You can use certain indicators like on the high time frame. Things like the MACD and the RSI can tell you when momentum is slowing, when the trend is shifting, things like that. But at the end of the day, man, just pay yourself on the way up. Have a plan for if we drop and have an exit strategy. You got to have some sort of exit strategy. To avoid getting wrecked. No one is going to catch the blow off the top perfectly, right? Like very few people sold Bitcoin at 19, 20,000, right? But if you were taking profits ever since we hit 10, right? And then you sold some more after it dropped when it bounced to 17, you did pretty well, right? And so if you sold all your Bitcoin at let's say that this is the top, if you sold all your Bitcoin at 50 or at 40, I'd say you did pretty fucking good. So yeah, have a plan, man. But there's certain things you can use, like I mentioned there. Market structure is the main thing I look at. I want to make sure that we don't lose weekly market structure. If we lose this weekly level, close below it, I'm pretty sure the bull run is over. Can we wick below here into here? Absolutely. But I would not want to see us kind of close below here, or else I think we correct way further back into the kind of 20K area. So that's something I'm watching because if you look at the last bull run, see if I can go back to it here. Once we lost weekly market structure, and I know it came late, right? But once we lost weekly market structure, that was the end. And we obviously, it's lagging relative to where the actual high was because it is the weekly. It takes time to unfold, right? So if we lose weekly market structure here, it's like, well, we're already at 40 and the high was 60. It's like, yeah, it's the weekly. It's not going to shift, but if as fast as the lower time frames. But if you look at here, right, what happened before we lost weekly market structure? Well, we lost daily market structure here. That was a sign that things were shifting. And then we saw we had that complacency shoulder, and that was it, right? So you could argue, potentially, I'm not saying this is the top, but we've lost daily market structure here. So this is a key level that we need to regain, or else we're at least going to have some sort of, multi-month probably downturn if we do not get back above here. Rough day, but rough days create opportunity. In the last 3 weeks, we'll look at this dip and laugh. Maybe 5 more days of max pain. Let's rock. I hope you're right, bro. But that message is from Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's already been 3 days and we're already trading lower. And I don't see us trading higher anytime soon, but I love your attitude, bro, but be prepared for the worst, right? And hope for the best, obviously. Gosh, okay, we got to speed this up. Let's see how long we're at here. We're already at 50 minutes. All right, guys, I'm going to have to crank up the speed here because I want this video to be 2 hours. No one will watch it. Mayne, do you think taking profits in alts I'm up on would be a good idea here? I don't want to run into a situation like we did in September, and I don't mind buying higher if I have to. Just afraid my profits could dwindle another 30%, still cutting so we create direction. You've answered your own question there, bro. If you're thinking you should take profits because you have uncertainty about the market, fucking do it. You can always buy back, right? If you're in some altcoin that looks like this, right, and you take some profits here, right, and then you don't buy back here, let's say, and you save yourself this downtrend, but then if it breaks above there, fucking next dip, buy back. Yeah, you missed a little bit of the move, but you protected yourself from potential downside, right? That's the whole idea. You want to minimize your potential losses. And if you're unclear of the market direction, then yeah, get out, lock in some gains, reevaluate, and then go back from there. You can always buy back higher, like you said. Absolutely. Hey Mayne, wondering if you could give me some advice. Currently, I don't touch exchanges to keep my trade trade my tokens. I trade everything through DEXs, which makes it a bit more tedious to trade into different coins on a regular basis. I was looking into possibly putting all my trading bag onto an exchange, probably FTX. Make sure you use my ref link. So I'm wondering, is there any downsides to spot trading on an exchange like FTX compared to just swapping tokens constantly on DEXs? Or am I missing out being on the ease of use of an exchange like FTX? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. This dip hit hard, and I feel like I could have been a bit better prepared for it. You're going to have way more, I think, control and ease of use using an exchange like FTX to manage your money. It's going to be way easier to trade in and out of different coins, in and out of stables. It's going to be way faster. There's different order types that you can use. It's just going to be a better experience on the whole, I think, for you, and way easier to do, I would say, is an advantage. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of experience with DEXs, but my understanding is they're not as capable as, a centralized exchange like an FTX or a Binance or whatever. I think you'll have an easier time managing your portfolio for sure. Yeah, try it out. You don't have to move all your money over there. Put some, use my ref link, obviously, and try it out. But yeah, I think it will be easier for you. No need to answer, man. Just want to say that little video made me feel better in this mess. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. Thanks for the message. This guy says, sir, I'm here to vent. Vent away, my man. This guy sent a photo. He said, DM's open, ? Here's a nice picture of a fox. Very cute. I lost so much money, but at least foxes exist, so I'm happy. Your name is My Balls, and you really like foxes. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate the message. Fuck, I doxed you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Cool fox, man. You'll make it back. Don't worry. Keep your head up. Remember, there's cute foxes out there to keep you going. Hey, thanks for sharing your time with us. I appreciate it. I'm wondering something like other people. I know it's hard to answer, but I'd like to ask, is this bear season? Less likely, more probably. Prices are so cheap. I don't know about entering the market. I wouldn't say prices are cheap. Bitcoin is 50 fucking thousand. Ethereum is 2,200 for one. So I don't know about prices being cheap. But again, I don't know if this is a bear market yet. I think we're definitely in for some sort of serious correction here. Could be multiple months, multiple weeks at the very least. So obviously just take that in mind. I don't necessarily think the bull run is over. But if it is, I think no one can be really that upset. We went pretty crazy. I mean, I don't think it's over. It's hard to say, but for now, market is looking rather bearish. Hello, please. Is Dogecoin going to rise soon? And PTC. I'm pretty sure Dogecoin is done, my man. Then again, it did correct 50% off the high. So who knows? Maybe this is going to fucking recover, but I'm pretty confident that this is the high on Dogecoin for probably years to come. Could it go to $1 and fulfill the Angelo prophecy? Maybe. But I'm pretty sure Dogecoin is not going back up there anytime soon. But it fucking, I mean, who knows? It fucking ate a monstrous cock off of the highs. Had a full kind of on 60% retracement. So maybe it will go back up. But I don't really like trading Doge. I usually lose money doing it. BTC, I don't know. Looks like shit for now. This guy sent me a voice message and said, can you share the link to learn TA? Join my Discord. I'm not going to listen to the voice message because I don't know what it is. Oh my God. This is a fucking sob story. I don't know. Do you guys even want to hear this shit? Good evening. Hope you're safe during these volatile times. I saw you were opening your DMs. I'm in a bad place mentally. The money doesn't mean a thing anymore to me. Now it's just an obsession I have, whether it's 0.5 or 0.55 can make it exactly back to 1 BTC I had a year ago. Thing is I had 0.55 BTC a week ago. I bought H-bar, didn't have a stop loss because my mind was only on making profits. Sold it at a loss. New balance is 0.5 BTC. Jumped into Sia coin because I saw people shilling it. Didn't even look at the price. There's your first mistake, which is pumped already on the daily and the weekly. The price went down even more. Now I'm at 0.43 BTC again. I didn't want to sell. I said it can go to zero. I don't care anymore. I just woke up. My balance is now 0.35. I failed as a person, as an investor who became a gambler, and as a father to my 4-year-old son. Jesus Christ. That I'm supposed to celebrate his birthday on May 3rd. I thought I'm doing it all for him, but I guess I turned into a pure gambler, nothing more. My wife didn't support me when I was buying BTC at 3, 5, 9, 12K prices. Our average country salary is $500. Jesus Christ. Only need help from an experienced person as you to tell me what do you think I should do. Cash out and never look back. Forget it all. Keep Sia coin, hoping it will make it up to 90 sats and convert to BTC and keep my 0.35 and not lose even more. This option I never held because I always turned it into another trade. Just this one more and then I'm out. God bless you and I wish you all the best and all honest people in this world. After 3 years of being in crypto, my investment is back to zero. So I thought you had 0.35 left. You sent me another message 5 minutes later after the first one. I wasted my free time, days, months of my life I should have spent playing and being with my kid as he grows. Instead, I started a screen looking at price action. Never thought about cash out the gains often, but I never did. I invested money to have 1.8 BTC since 2018, but constantly in bad trades, I got down to 0.5. Maybe that's why I didn't cash out. On top of that, as I said, my wife thought she can spend her salary than mine. I should be the one thing about our future. I had no choice but to gamble with BTC, which could have been okay if I holded. Okay, a lot to unpack there, my man. Jesus. If the average salary in your country is $500 and you're telling me you have 0.35 of a Bitcoin, that's a lot of money for your country. If you have a family, and it sounds like you're coming to the realization here that you do not know how to trade, and that you have a gambling problem, I would suggest getting your money the fuck out of crypto. And obviously the contrarian argument could be like, oh, well, it could go back up, and then you'd be mad that I sold. Like, dude, it sounds like you don't know what you're doing, and I'm not trying to be a dick when I say that, but you've admitted it yourself here. You're just one more trade. You're buying things without even looking at them because they're getting talked about online. You're not using stops. Like, you're gambling, and it sounds like you're addicted, and it sounds like it's affecting your family and your life, seriously, from like a mental perspective. So stay as far away from this shit as you can, right? If you bought Bitcoin that long ago, you're saying in 2018 you were buying at 3, 5, 8, 9K. So you've turned what I imagine to be hundreds of dollars into tens of thousands of dollars. Consider that a win, man. And don't risk losing it all, because if you're down now, you're gonna be even more down if you lose it all. It sounds like this isn't for you, and I never want to tell anyone don't fucking trade, you shouldn't do this, but for some people they shouldn't, right? If you're a gambler, and you have the inability to think rationally, and you're just going to let this money slowly burn away, and then it's going to fuck you up mentally, don't put yourself in a position where that's possible. Cash out, right? If you're really interested in learning to trade and trying to get better, secure your family's well-being by taking a large portion of that off of the exchanges and turning that into cash that you can use to provide for you and your family, and maybe just play around with a small amount of money. Because if you can't grow $100 into 1,000, you're not going to be able to grow 10,000 into 100,000, right? Because if you're trading, the things that you're going to do are no different. So yeah, man, be careful. Don't fucking burn this nest egg that you've built over the last few years to zero. I wish you all the best, man. It's a sad story. I feel bad for you, but it sounds like you're gambling, and it sounds like you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're doing. So if that's the case, do not put yourself in a position where you can, because even if you've lost from 1 Bitcoin to 0.5, you still have way more money than you did 2 years ago. So count that as a win, right? But yeah, good luck, man. Okay, I'm going to power through these last ones here, guys. We got still a handful more. Hi, brother. Wondering if this bull market will rise up again. I've lost more than 60% of my portfolio in this dip. I have my investment left, some low profit left. Would recommend some good advice. Your help would greatly appreciate. I think I've answered this question already, right? Like, if you've lost more than the market has gone down, what have you done wrong, right? Probably leverage, probably too much into altcoins, haven't taken any profit. I don't know if the bull run is over, bro, but don't let your investment go to zero just holding, because hoping that it goes back up is not a strategy. Make a plan, make some rules, find some levels at where price will go, you're bullish, and where if it goes below, you're bearish, and then fucking stick to that fucking plan. Man, I felt so disappointed. It's hard to phase out the noise on Twitter that a bear market is on the way when this looks so brutal. I've been trying to understand when to take profits and when to buy a dip. I bought a dip a couple days ago and it's continued to punish. Why are some folks so adamant it isn't a bear? It sometimes feels like they're trying to convince me to stay in just for exit liquidity. No one on Twitter needs you to exit, but remember, no one on Twitter has your best interest in mind. Telling people that a bear market is coming is not going to get someone as many likes as telling them that the low is in and we're going to 100K, right? So you need to ignore Twitter in these instances, right? People are either talking their book, which means if they're long, they're going to post bullish shit to make them feel better, or if they're short and all in tether, they're going to post bearish shit to make them feel better because it's in line with their bias. Or they're just talking out their ass and they're just posting hopium and shit because that's what's going to get the most engagement. So, and I'm guilty of that. I'm not trying to shit on anyone on Twitter. I do that too. So yeah, like, don't listen to what people are saying on Twitter. Focus on your book. Do you think the bear market is here? Do you think we're going up? Do you think we're going down? What can you do to protect yourself and position yourself to take best advantage of that, or to to upside and best protect yourself for downside. And that's all that should matter. Obviously, if you have some people on Twitter you respect and you trust, follow those people and ignore everyone else, because for the most part, Twitter is a bunch of shit posting. Most people aren't trading. Most people have very little skin in the game, and most people are just tweeting a bunch of bullshit. So you have to keep that in mind and don't let that sway or affect your decision, right? So I don't know, if the bear market is coming or not, right? But people are going to be screaming to buy the dip all the way down. And people are going to be screaming that the top is in all the way up. That's just the nature of the beast. Hey bro, thanks for the quick update. Had a question for you. As a newbie, I'm having a hard time deciding when to take profits, when to call it quits for the trading session. Any tips? I know it may sound obvious in the moment, but it isn't that obvious. So if you're an actual trader, which it sounds like you are because you're saying trading session, have a goal, right? Whether that's a goal in Bitcoin or a goal in fiat, like a dollar goal for your session. And then when you hit that, you're done. Or have a goal in R, right? So if you're trading for reward to risk, RR, let's say if you get to 3R in the day, you're fucking done, right? And then call it. And that means if another trade comes, you don't fucking take it. It's just important, like having rules for downside, for where your stops go and shit. And like, if you take 3 losers in the row, you stop. It's just important the other way as well, right? If you have a set goal and you get to it, you got to stick to your guns and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I hit my target for the day, for the week. So try setting some goals, whether it be a kind of dollar amount or a R amount. That would be my advice to you, obviously, from a trading perspective. Have a goal in mind. When you hit it, sit on your hands, right? What's the point of having this awesome kind of job where you can choose when you want to work, how you work, if you're on screen 24/7, right? If you hit your weekly goal on a Wednesday, fucking have Thursday and Friday off. It's going to do wonders for you mentally. Hey, I'm new to trading. I need advice. I just bought $500 into those dips. Should I sell as soon as I make profits, or should I keep it in and hope that prices will rise? Again, hope is not a fucking plan. So I appreciate the message, bro, but you're like, I bought Link, LTCF, and XRP at pretty good prices. Pretty good is relative. Pretty good this week might be great next week. It might be absolute shit next week. It depends what the market fucking does, right? Have a plan. Why did you buy where you did? And what are you aiming to get out of your investment? Are you aiming for a 2x? Are you hoping to just hold this for a year? Are you hoping to hold it for a month? And where is your idea wrong? You need to know all of those things before you even enter the trade. And from the sounds of it, you're very new. So you should probably be putting some time in learning about this shit before you consider just fucking punting money into it after we've gone up 2,000% in the last year. And you're now just buying, near the highs. With almost no plan. So not trying to be a dick, bro. Welcome to crypto. Hopefully it goes up for you. But have a plan. Why did you buy where you did? What was your goal? Was it to sell it at 2x? Was it to sell 6 months from now? And where are those ideas wrong? You should know all of those things before you get into the trade. This guy says, hello, Mayne. Good morning from here. Good morning from there. I'm new to trading. I'd like to have you as a mentor. I like your approach to the market, and I believe learning from you will be a privilege. Please let me know if you'll consider me. I really hope to be under your tutelage. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the message, my man, but I am not interested in mentoring anyone. There's lots of great paid services out there and groups and mentors who have who you can learn from, but I'm not interested in doing that, my man. I'm sorry. Hey Mayne, wanted to say thanks a lot for the alpha you put out. I learned a lot from people like you, Cred, and Trader SZ. Well, those are the homies. And a few others. Well, I learned a lot. I'm having a tough time getting in and out of trades. A lot of times I ape in too early, worried I'll miss the move. That's called FOMO. Or I jump in before seeing price react, and it shows me a position is there. That's also FOMO. Trying to be patient and identify these things without moving down to the 5 to 15 minute chart. Keeping my emotions in check have been crazy. Didn't realize how hard it would be. It's almost, you could say, the hardest fucking part is the emotional and psychological aspects of trading, more so than just doing TA. Anyways, just venting, I guess. Thanks for the info you put out. It's much appreciated. Hopefully when the bear market does come, I'll be sharing with you on the way down to hell. LOL. Take it easy. Thank you, bro. It's a great message. if you're having trouble with FOMO and with fear of missing out of a move or entering early or entering late and shit, go back to what I said earlier. Think from a risk first perspective. Before you get into the trade, what do you need to know? Where am I wrong? What is my entry and why? And where am I targeting? Boom. Second thing, what is the worst case scenario? If I am stopped out, how much money am I going to lose? Boom. Once you know all of those things, emotion should be eliminated, because if I have my entry set for here on Doge, right, and I know my stop is here and my take profit is here, if price just goes up like this and I don't get filled, guess what? You missed the trade. There's another trade. You can always get in another one. Don't enter here being like, oh, well, I missed my entry, but it's going to go to my take profit. So you enter here and then it does this, right? Have your plan in advance, and if it doesn't give you your fill, you don't fucking get it. You missed the trade. Move on to the next one, right? And then if you're in the trade and it does fill you, but it does this, you're not freaking out exiting early because, hey, I'm not wrong till down here. Because if you exit here and then it does this, you're going to be pissed, like I talked about before. So the better plan that you have in advance, knowing those things that I just mentioned, the more easy it will be to manage your emotions, because you already know the worst case scenario, you already have a plan, you already know the best case scenario, and you know why you're entering and where. And if all of those things don't happen, there's no fucking trade, and it is what it is. You move on to the next one, right? So that should help a little bit. Sold everything. Oh, hey bro, is it going to be okay, like recover, or is it over? Are we entering a multi-year bear market? I lost so much money this week. Please help. Sold everything. I don't even care anymore. It's all a scam. Okay, if you are this emotional about price dropping 30%, bro, this is not the right fucking industry for you, right? Unfortunately, the market is designed to torture you emotionally, right? That is the Wall Street cheat sheet, right? You know, euphoria, new paradigm, right? Complacency, right? It's going to come back, right? It's going to come back. Oh no, I give up, right? And then it fucking runs again. That is the Wall Street cheat sheet. It's to fuck with you emotionally. The idea is when you enter your trade, obviously it'd be ideal if it went like this, and then once you take profit. But in reality, it's more often like this. Oh fuck, oh, like, and then it goes to your take profit. It's never that perfect thing that you want, right? And if you can't handle these up and downs and these emotions, this is not for you. This is not for everyone. It's not easy. Everyone makes it seem so easy. It's not easy. It's very hard. If it was easy, everyone would fucking do it. There's a reason most people don't. They won't stick it out and they won't learn to manage those emotions. So I'm sorry you're feeling this way, bro. But if you're this emotional about this stuff, maybe this isn't for you, dog. But it sounds like you sold anything and you're out and you think it's all a scam, right? But don't be pissed if you come back and Bitcoin's pumped again, right? Like you've gotta try your best to remove emotion from the situation, right? It's a fucking grind, dude. Mentally, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Well, maybe not ever, but it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do is, becoming a trader. And being able to deal with the ups and downs of price, of your P&L, losses, wins. It's fucking hard. It's not easy. So sorry you feel that way, man. Hopefully we see you back here, bro. This guy just said, yo, boss, man, good morning. You good? I am good, my man. Thank you. This guy says, bro, what would happen next? Alts pumping or everything dumping? I mean, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it seems like it's sold off extremely fucking hard and could potentially be bottoming. So if I had to guess, even if Bitcoin does keep dumping, I don't expect alts to outperform. Bitcoin dominance shat the bed for like 3-4 weeks, almost a month straight, and alts went crazy. So I wouldn't just assume alts continue to pump from here. I think they're due for a correction as well. They went nuts in April and the end of March. Hey bro, thanks for your offer to help us newbies. I've gotten to crypto just a month ago. This is what I have. And then he's listed his entire portfolio here. I went all in BTC at 54K, so I'm down about 20% overall. Not worried at all. Great. As you can see, Hollow is a wild card. Rest are quite solid, I believe. Any idea why I should get back to some cash? Maybe sell 20 to 50% of everything when BTC goes to 60, or just hodl for 3 years. I'm not a trader. Thanks for your time. Truly appreciate it. Any suggestions for me, or do I just hodl forever? Listen, dude, if you're talking years out, right? Like, why the fuck are you worried what price does? Like, look at 3 years ago where price was and where it is now. So you could assume probably 3 years from now, hopefully it's higher. But you never know. Some altcoins will go to zero, so keep that in mind. But I don't really know what to say to you, man. I mean, if you're talking super high time frame, I wouldn't be looking at the chart every day. I'd focus on the monthly and the weekly, and as long as it's kind of respecting your levels, you stay in your spot and you chill. I mean, obviously, if you bought all of your Bitcoin a year ago and then you're up 20x on your portfolio, take some profit and have some dry powder to invest on dips. But questions like these, man, are super specific and personal. I can't really tell you whether or not you should sell 20 to 50% of your Bitcoin if we go to 60K. But I don't know. I think we could go a lot lower than here before going back up. So keep that in mind. But if you're talking years out in terms of your investment kind of time horizon, I wouldn't worry too much about intraday and interweek fluctuations in price. Hey, Mayne, got a question for you. I'm a fellow Canadian. This is a different question. I'll answer this one later. Gosh, it's taking way longer than I thought. Hey man, not sure if you read these, but I want to thank you for giving advice and dropping charts. I got into crypto in October 2020. Good time to buy. And it's been a hell of a ride. Got lucky with Luna at $1. And I've been enjoying the ride since. I did get hit pretty hard this past week, futures trading, and wiped about 20% of my portfolio, but I'm learning to accept it and take a break and not look for a few days when that happens. Got my buy and sell orders ready, but anyways, you're a huge help. Keep killing it, man. You keep killing it, bro. Fucking awesome message, and sounds like you're exactly figuring out. You were using a little bit of margin. You didn't blow up your entire account. You've got a plan where you want to buy, where you want to sell, and you're taking a break after a crazy week in the market and letting your mind reset. Everyone take a lesson from our boy Brian here, because that's fucking awesome. Inverse Bra said to DM you, bro. I don't know why, but hey, bro. I hope you're doing good. Thanks, bro. I am doing good. Inverse Bra told me to DM you. How do you cure being poor? Go to the gym 4 times a week, eat at least 8 eggs a day, and drink an entire gallon of milk. And get at least 1 hour of sun. That should probably help. Help me, brother. Will we continue being underwater? I think so. But anything can happen, my man. Just draw out some levels, wait for some reclaims before we get overly bullish, and until then, be prepared for potentially more downside, my man. Get your snorkel out, get your scuba out. Okay, this guy says, hey man, DMing you as a fellow Canadian. Lost 15K today because Binance closed my long when I tried to up the leverage and short the same coin as a hedge. Not asking for any handouts, but would you mind retweeting my post to get their attention? Thanks, Mayne. Best of luck. It sounds like you fucked up and now you're hoping that they reverse it because you were trying to probably up the leverage and didn't have enough margin. And you can't open a short and a long on the same coin. If you own Bitcoin, you can short it on margin, right? Or if you're long on the perps, like long on the perpetuals, you could short the futures, but you cannot long the perps and short the perps. That would close your position. So it sounds like you might have just fucked up. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look at your tweets that you linked me. But I'm probably not going to retweet them. I'm going to be honest with you, dude. This guy says it starts tonight, and it's a picture of either a sleeping bear or a dead bear. So I don't know if that means the bears die tonight or the bears are going to awaken. Either way, quite ominous. Hey bro, thanks for all your tweets. Do you have any Telegram communities or Discord communities that are active and actually provide useful information? In fact, I do. I have my own Discord. It's free to join. Use the link in the description of my Twitter to join and come hang out. I've been trying to recover the 0.5 BTC I had to sell and back in like 2017 to pay off my ARD fine for a gram of weed. Biggest mistake of my life. Damn, bro. That sucks. But if you're in the game, man, you can always make it back, bro. Keep your head up. But yeah, join the Discord. Come chill, man. Hey, man, I just want to know your opinion on my situation. I've got 2 odd K in dollars. What would you suggest I stick with during this dip? This is my whole portfolio as I'm ready to start. I have no fucking clue, man. I'm not here to tell you what coins to buy with your $2,000. I don't know what, are you a trader? Are you just investing, hoping shit will go up? I have no idea, so I can't really answer that question for you. All I would say is do your own research and don't get advice from anyone online. Figure it out for yourself what you want to invest in. Look at the charts, understand what your goals are, how long you want to hold this shit for. Are you just buying it to hold it? Are you buying it to fucking sell it in the future? Like, I'm never going to be one of those fucking guys who's like, dude, I'm glad you asked. What you should be buying is this token because blah, blah, blah. Like, that's just a bunch of bullshit, dude. 99% of this shit is vaporware. So if you have 2,000 bucks, figure out what your goals are with that money and then determine what coin you think will best allow you to, potentially reach those goals, whether it's just putting it in Bitcoin or putting in some sort of altcoin. Just understand that if someone just recommends you buy some 10 altcoin because, oh, you only have $2,000 and it's only 10 cents per coin, yes, that means it can double easily because it only has to go to 20 cents, but it also means that it can cut in half very easily as well, right? So a lot more risk in those cheap altcoins and altcoins in general, both upside asymmetry but downside asymmetry as well, versus something like a Bitcoin where for it to double it has to go all the way to 100, but for it to cut in half it has to go all the way to 25, right? Hey Mayne, saw your video today. I would like to ask you a question. I've been holding some long positions with comfortable leverage, 2-3x, but I'm really underwater right now and didn't use a stop. Neither managed my risk. We only learn when we get wrecked, right? Correct. I want to close the trades, but I don't know. Do I stop the bleeding or just hold strong till prices recover? Won't take your opinion as financial advice because it's not. Sorry to answer this question. Cut the trades, man. If we're beyond where your idea was wrong, could we bounce back? Sure. And then maybe you lost a little bit less than you had originally, than when you closed it. But if you would have closed it where you initially were wrong, you wouldn't be in this predicament, right? And there's just as much of a chance that it continues to go even lower and you lose even more money. Cut your trades, reset mentally. Don't let those losses become any bigger than they need to be. And you can always enter a new fucking trade, right? You can always long again. If you think the market's turned bullish, open the longs again, right? You can make that money back. Oh my God. All right. Okay, this is the type of message that I'm going to read this out. Like, these kind of messages, guys, are kind of ridiculous. So I lost 200K in Syscoin to a Discord scammer on March 2nd while seeking tech help on their stupid desktop wallet backup. My whole wallet, it has sapped my morale to do anything else. At 60K USD market value, that's more than a year of my oil field wages. So it sucks, but never fucking trust people on the internet ever. Including me. Don't fucking trust me. Don't trust anyone. Is there enough steam in this bull market for me to recover such losses? I hope I can still make multiples so I can take a break from the oil field and change career, spend time with my kids. The wife battles cancer, and I'm trying to brush up on coding that I left 15 years ago in engineering college. Rough. So I got about 300K in shitcoins, 2017 bags, Ardor, Sys, Zec, Eth, DeFi, Rook, Badger, S5, ITO, MTA, Dusk, BSC, and some FTT and Cake. Is there a chance of turning this 300K into 7 figures by only playing spot? Any advice would be appreciated. I speak 6 languages, play the cello, I scuba dive, I'm a judo black belt, I've written on politics and social issues in mainstream publications, yet somehow I feel like a complete loser when it comes to investing. Imagine putting 5 figs in 2017 and 18 and still not making it. Okay, I mean, first of all, it's just the world's most interesting man. Thanks for the message, bro. Honestly, dude, I mean, if you're holding shit from 2017, what the fuck, right? Did you ride it all the way up and all the way back down? You need to learn lessons from mistakes you made in the past. Don't do what you did with your 2017 shitcoins with these ones. Sounds like you're a smart guy. Unfortunately, trading is not easy, nor is it for everyone. So just because you're good at other shit doesn't mean that this is going to just come naturally to you. It's hard. I can understand with your goal that you want to turn, and you said you put in 5 figs, but you got 300K now. That's okay. And I'm sorry to hear about your wife, but you can make money with price going up or down, right? But again, if Bitcoin goes to 100K, that's only a 2x from here, right? You got to think of that. So can you make 300 to a million? Sure, right? But who fucking knows? Are you going to take profits when you get there? Are the coins you're in going to gain or are they not, right? There's so many variables with what you've sent me here. Sounds like you're very spread out in terms of the shit that you own. I would maybe focus on locking in some profits, consolidating some of your money, and maybe focusing on less, right? Less can be more. Absolutely, you can turn 300K into a million in this market, right? The market moves 10, 15, 20% some days on various coins, including Bitcoin itself. So absolutely, you can make the money. But if you're too far diversified in a bunch of random shit and the market continues to tank, you're going to just bleed all over the place and in some places even more. So maybe tighten things up a bit, reduce that diversification a little bit, focus on fewer things. And yeah, man, I wish you the best. Focus on learning and having a plan as opposed to just holding shit and hoping it goes up. Because you're in a lot of random coins. Some of them look good, I don't know, but some of them I've never heard of. So that doesn't mean that they're bad, but it just means like you're in a lot of shit. And is there a chance all of it 3x's? Like maybe, but are you just gonna hold it and hope that it 3x's, or are you actively trading to try and get it there? I don't know. Right, but to get 300K to a million, you need to essentially 3x. Are there coins that could 3x before the end of the bull run? Sure. I don't know what they are, or else I'd fucking have all my money in them, as well. But, you've got to, hopefully you have some sort of plan and you're not just hoping to hold this stuff and hope that it turns into 7 figures. But I wish you the best of luck. Feel free to join my Discord. Sounds like you're a smart guy. You can actually learn what you're doing and then apply that knowledge to your portfolio. And, hopefully it helps you maximize your gains there, bro. Jesus Christ. 6 languages, plays the cello, and scuba dives, and is a black belt in judo. What a legend. Mayne, is this weekend a pump or a dump? Watched your video. Looks like it's a dump right now, my man. I just bought 230K worth of ass, and I'm willing to be underwater the rest of my life. Well, I'm glad you said that because I have a feeling you might be underwater the rest of your life. That seemed like a stupid fucking idea. Most of these BSC coins are fucking rugs. So be fucking careful going in. Like if you're going to play in that random scam coin BCS pump and dumps and shit, put in a couple $100, a couple $1,000 into some of them. See if you get lucky. Don't go invest $230,000. Jesus Christ. The coin is called ass. What do you expect? Chop for weeks. Best strategy is to LP on Uniswap, collect fees from degens. It's probably mid-range now or so. Plenty of opportunities to exit in a month or so. Worked for me on all previous jobs. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Hey, Mayne, what do you think about my tweet? I don't know what your tweet is. You didn't send me a tweet. I don't follow you. And yeah, so I have no idea. Hello, mate. Message you, said your DMs are open. I'm not here to vent about market conditions or portfolio bags, but I'd like to ask some advice. I'm becoming more confident in my trading strategies and practices, but one thing that I struggle with when I can't find any information on or anyone will talk about is position sizing. Every time I increase my position size, I get wrecked. I can trade happily and consistently with smaller position size, but when I increase my position size, I either make poor mistakes at the moment when monitoring the trade, or B, set my stop loss and TP and don't monitor due to A. Both most commonly result in losses. So I guess my question is, where can I look for coaching, learning around the psychology of position sizing? So it's very easy to say that, okay, well, if my account is $1,000, 2% is $20, right? And so I risk $20 per trade. And then when my account becomes 10,000, oh, now I'm risking $200. And the idea is, well, it's just 2%. No matter how big your account is, it's always 2%. That's the logic. So technically, mentally, logically, it shouldn't matter, right? Because it's just the same, it's 2% of your account. You should not be upping your position size just to up it. You should up your position size proportionately as your account grows, right? So logically, 2% is 2%. And if it's 2% of 1,000 or 2% of 1,000,000, it shouldn't matter because it's 2% of your account. Where the issue comes, and where I've found issues in the past, is once you get to a certain amount where all of a sudden that 2% is $20,000 or something like that, where it's a significant sum of money, it can be a little bit more difficult mentally, because all of a sudden you're like, fuck, that's like a year's worth of rent or half a year's rent, if I get stopped. So I understand that aspect. So what you have to remind yourself is it's relative to your account size. And so that could be a mistake you're making. If you're just raising your position size just to raise it, then yeah, you're probably feeling emotional and getting owned and fucking up and messing around because you're risking too much. But if you're raising your position size proportionately with your account growing, logically nothing should change. You're not raising your position size. Your position size is still 2%. The notional value might be higher, the dollar value might be higher, but it's still 2% relative to your account balance. So it shouldn't matter. So hopefully that clears things up for you. Check out Crypto Cred's videos if you're interested. Yeah, he does some great stuff on risk management. All right, this guy wrote me an entire fucking essay, so I'm not going to read that. I'll read that privately, but that is got to be a 1,000-word fucking essay there. Jesus. Is Kobe aware of up-only token listed on Poo Coin PCS? Looked for it for the first time yesterday and didn't know they snagged his name. I don't know if Kobe's aware. Kobe doesn't even follow me, so that fucking sucks. Looks like the rest of these are about me smoking pot, so... I've done a podcast on this before with Karush, but I can talk about that another time. I'm going to end this video, guys. That was an hour and a half of me just talking and reading out DMs with a static chart. So I don't know if anyone is going to watch this video, but hopefully there was some value here for you guys. I don't know. I just thought I would get on here and just fucking chat. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found some value. If you've got questions, again, my DMs are open. Please try and not send me requests for money, a fucking entire essay about all the random shit coins you're in and saying, what should I do? If you've got legit questions about, trading and things that you're looking to fix, I'm happy to answer. But in terms of, is the bull run over? What coin should I buy? Here's the coins that I own. Are they good? I can't really answer those questions, nor do I want to. So, hopefully this was of value for you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. We got a bunch of videos coming out tomorrow, so looking forward to that, and yeah, chat y'all later.